Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto was a one-of-a-kind prodigy. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this one to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was the perfect experiment, and enjoy that guys over on Anime King 3. And stay in tune for a brand new episode over in Anime King, which I'm going to be posting later on for you guys to enjoy. And if you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post 25 every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, as Nagato was taken aback as Konan was really gonna blow the entire village to pieces, as over 2 trillion paper bombs were descended from the heaven. Nagato raised his hand and freed the path, but he was stopped as Konan disrupted the main sender of the chakra rods, as he could not send the chakra towards the Tendo pain and the absorption pain, as the clone held on to it tight, as the clone was using the chakra that she had to suppress it, as Konan rained down all the paper tags over the line of rain, as Nagato was there, as all of his attempts of trying to stop her failed miserably because his other paths could not reach her. This was the only way that she saw she could end this, as she released her attack. Meanwhile, at Konoha, in Sage mode, as Naruto felt it, Naruto felt the power surge. Even though it was a long distance away, he felt it though. As he was speaking to Kurama inside of his stomach, as Naruto tried to trigger up his forms, as he went into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but he was stopped at 6, as that was the amount of power he could channel at the moment in the Nine-Tail form. He made his way after that. As he was in the office, Tsunade got news. She called for Guy's team and Kakashi as Naruto lay on her decks. It seems like the Kazekage has been kidnapped, and she put Naruto in charge of the mission to go ahead and rescue him. As Naruto didn't want to do this, but she told him that he must, as he agreed. Before he left though, she told him that she loved him. He didn't know what to say as he didn't respond that I love you back. As he left, his mind conflicted as hell. The group made their way as Naruto's mind was conflicted. His mind was so conflicted as they made their way towards the sand, as he sent Tenten and Lee to assure them that everything was fine, while him and the rest of them made their way towards where the Akatsuki were. While that was going on, Orochimaru was currently being held captive by Tsunade. All this time for 2 years now she had him, as she told him that Naruto will be the one to end his existence. Tsunade was planning something, it seems, as someone had survived, and that was Teiwaya, Uzumaki's. The girl was at Uzumaki, and Uzumaki's always do whatever it takes for their family. The girl was able to spill the information about his organization, and Tsunade found out about Karen as well, the other Uzumaki. Orochimaru cursed at her. It seems like he had made a deal with her, but no, she didn't care about that. Tsunade was planning something, as Orochimaru seemed to know, as he screamed and cursed, but no one would hear him as he was sealed off in there. Meanwhile, as he arrived towards the Seal-Away rock, as Naruto was able to counter-react against the seals, Deidara and Sasori were confused because the leader was not showing up, as they did not understand he was never late, until they felt a massive amount of chakra being gathered at the entrance. As Naruto came and threw a Rasen Shuriken inside, it was chaotic as he tore everything apart, decimating the area. Sasori was forced to flee from his puppet body. Even Deidara got badly injured as Naruto stepped inside. Luckily, they had moved Gaara with them. After all, they couldn't allow Jinchuriki to die. As Naruto looked at them without reassuring as they thought that they were going to leave here. As he told them that they were mistaken because both of them will die today. So yeah guys, so basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place of yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Naruto pulled one of his hands out of his pockets as he looked towards the door. You think I'm gonna let you retreat? You're both gonna die here today. They only had a split second to react as lightning formed on Naruto's fingertip and shot forward towards them. Sasori leaped away. The moment he did, he was forced to block a kick from my Guy. Guy locked eyes with the puppet user before he twisted his body and striked out with his other leg. Sasori couldn't block the attack as he was sent sailing towards the ground. Kakashi flashed Hands as he breathed out a massive fireball towards Sasori. Naruto glanced towards Sasori, who was being taken on by Guy and Kakashi, as he turned his gaze towards Deidara, who was still holding on to his bleeding stump. Neji stood beside Naruto as he activated his Byakugan. I believe that you're capable of dealing with him alone. I will assist Kakashi and Guy. Good luck, said Neji. As he disappeared in the sunshine and headed towards his comrades, Deidara grit his teeth in rage as he glanced towards the unconscious body of Gaara. This wasn't going as planned. Pain was not responding to their call. Itachi was dead, and now him and Sasori were dealing with this monster. You little shit, I'm gonna kill you. Naruto placed his hands back in his pockets as he closed his eyes. Your words mean nothing if you don't have the strength to back them up. You will not live past the day. As Naruto took a step forward before he blurred out of sight, Deidara's eyes widened as he was struck right on his left cheek. The impact from the blow snapped his head to the side as he was violently hit in the stomach. Blood spewed from his mouth as he tried to retaliate with a sloppy punch. Naruto wavered on the punch as he gripped the man's arm and snapped his elbow. Deidara cried out in pain as Naruto jumped. Boom! A vicious kick in his face that broke several of his teeth. You are incredibly weak, said Naruto. Without the usage of your arms, you're barely above average. As Naruto frowned in annoyance as Deidara slowly tried to get to his feet, Deidara puked up a lot of blood as he struggled to raise himself up. Too many times have I fought people like you who rely on gimmicks without your precious tool to aid you. You are just pathetic, said Naruto. Deidara reached into his pouch as he tried to mold a construct to launch his clay towards the boy. But Naruto flashed right in front of him as his fist crashed into Deidara's face. Deidara's head slammed roughly on the rock on the ground as he started to see stars. As Naruto brought his foot down and stepped in his chest, Deidara screamed as Naruto kicked him right in the face, breaking his jaw. Naruto sighed as he looked down towards Deidara as he created a wind blade. I do hope that pain proved to be a challenge, he said as he flicked his wrist as Deidara's head rolled clean off. Naruto sighed in annoyance as he gripped the ponytail and sealed the man's head away as he flashed hand signs and burned Deidara's body. Naruto turned as he saw dozens upon dozens of puppets were floating in the air. It seems like Sasori was taking them seriously. That did not matter though, as he was gonna die soon. As Naruto's eyes narrowed as he felt himself being pulled into a vortex, he immediately disappeared in a yellow flash. He appeared several yards away as a man appeared from the swirling vortex. Naruto's face shifted into a glare as he looked at the man who had actually managed to get the drop on him. Tuh, you know that jutsu, so you're even more dangerous than I thought. Kurama started to growl deep within Naruto upon recognizing the man. This is the man that infiltrated the village all those years ago. I would know that foul chakra signature anywhere. This is the imposter you speak of, Kurama, said Naruto. He claimed to be Madara Uchiha. He's a cheap imitation. As Naruto tilted his head at the masked man, my father forced you to retreat. The masked man tilted his head in a mocking tone. He said, your father is also dead, and yet you hide behind the mask because of shame. Truly, a small man you are, Tobi, said Naruto. The masked man burst out a statement as he started to disappear in a swirling vortex. I will come for you, and I will take the Kyuubi. Then do it now, said Naruto. The man's visible eye narrowed as he completely disappeared. As Kurama ranted about the man, as Naruto allowed to rant, he deserved to be angry. He would not deny the fox that. As Naruto walked over towards Gaara, who was laying down in the dirt, as he turned him over, There were several injuries, but nothing too bad, but he would still need a medic. As Naruto summoned several clones who stood by guard to watch over him, as explosions rocked the area. As Naruto stood still, as he activated Sage Mode, he started to move towards his team. They were having problems getting near the sorcerer because he was using his puppets to block them from getting any closer. As the Konoha ninjas saw Naruto coming towards them, they jumped back as they felt the wind start to pick up in the area. Sorcerer puppets start to get pulled towards Naruto as he created a massive vortex of wind that started to suck them in. Simple. Tatsumaki. The vortex turned into a massive tornado. As Naruto raised his hand, the tornado obliterated the terrain. A massive amount of wind debris and wind blades ripped out of the tornado. The leftover wind blades started to spin as they exploded into smaller wind blades. The process was repeated several times before everything imploded, as the area was obliterated. As Naruto looked at the jutsu that he just used, I've never actually used that one before. Kakashi was behind Naruto as he looked at the landscape that was ripped apart with literally millions of wind blades. I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore, he said. As Guy gave Naruto a thumbs up, but Naruto ignored him. As Naruto started to make his way to the epicenter, not knowing if Sasuke was truly dead, due to him being a puppet now, as he reached it, and there was nothing. No trace of Sasuke there. As Naruto shrugged and placed sand in his pockets. How powerful are you, Naruto? As Naruto turned his gaze towards his friend Neji. Powerful enough, said Naruto with a shrug. Time skip. Nico, bring me Teiwaya. As Tsunade stood, looking over the village, by her window, as Nico left to complete her task. It had been a day since Naruto and his team had left to retrieve Gaara. She had estimated that him and his squad would return in 2 days, but who knows? Even Naruto was capable of surprises. He may just reject Gaara's offer to stay and return back to Konoha. She stood in her position for about half an hour until Nico and Teiwaya appeared in the room, as Nico disappeared shortly after. Teiwaya's crimson hair trailed behind her as she made heavy steps towards Tsunade. The blonde woman closed her eyes as she prepared to be with the girl. Teiwaya was interesting, to say at least. Foul-mouthed, she was brash and loud. It was really endearing. At least Tsunade thought so. She was like a dirtier version of Kushina, and it was scary how similar they were. And she was also violent, very violent, but so was Tsunade, so that was a moot point. So, am I finally gonna meet shithead or what? Tsunade raised the eyebrow as she looked into the girl, chocolate brown eyes. Teiwaya slightly cringed at the look as Tsunade shifted towards her. What did I say about the nicknames? Teiwaya raised her hand as she chuckled. Joking, she said. Tsunade sighed, she gestured for the girl to sit down. Tsunade made her way towards her decks. She flashed her hand as her personal envoy guards disappeared from the room. As Nico then appeared, and silently watched on. She still scared the absolute hell out of me, said Teiwaya. As Tsunade snorted in amusement as she glanced towards Nico. Yujiro could definitely be a terrifying woman when she wants to be. To answer your previous question, yes, you'll be meeting Naruto but not at this moment. I sent him to retrieve Gaara from the Akatsuki. Teiwaya crossed her arms over her chest. He's strong enough to deal with those S-rank bastards? Tsunade smiled. Oh, Teiwaya, he killed Itachi already. The 19-year-old Teiwaya widened her eyes in disbelief as she shook her head. Wait. What the hell? You mean the Itachi Uchiha? The goddamn Grim Reaper of the Uchiha? That Itachi Uchiha? Tsunade smirked at the girl as she nodded her head. How strong is he now, said Teiwaya. How strong was Naruto? Tsunade did not know the limits of his power. According to him, Itachi was rather easy to kill. Itachi was crippled with this disease, and half blind, yes, but the man was still very dangerous. And Naruto said it like he was nothing more than a mere genin. Tsunade shrugged, even I'm unsure. But he would most likely demolish me in a fight, if that is any consolation. Teiwaya was shocked. She had heard some stories about Tsunade from Orochimaru. She was a monster on the battlefield, a tank that could absorb any attacks and ditch them out twice as strong. She was unkillable when she released her seal, and her power was increased 10 times over. To hear from her own mouth that she would lose to the boy in a fight, well, that was terrifying. Are you completely positive that he won't be angry when he finds out what you have been keeping away from him? Asked Teiwaya, silent, turning in the room as Tsunade closed her eyes. Was she positive on how he would react? Absolutely not. Her last days could be happening at this very moment. She knew that he would return very powerful from his training trip, but she never expected him to be this powerful. Should he react negatively to everything that she's planned? The only future outcome that she saw was death for herself. She had accepted that when he almost killed Jiraiya. If he were to believe that she was manipulating his emotion for her own gain, then he was going to kill her. But she held on to hope that he would understand. Everything that she has done up to this point was all for him. She was well aware that she was not any saint. She had manipulated so many things from the shadows, killed so many obstacles in her path. There was no turning back now, and if she died trying to accomplish her goal, then so be it. But she would be a liar if she said she didn't want to see a future with him. Every single word that she told to him she meant. She would crush every single nation who tried to get in the way of her goals. He deserved the world, and she was going to make sure that he got it. Whether she died doing so meant little to her. She knew that she had subjugated Konoha with fear. She wasn't stupid. She knew exactly what she was doing. A populace laced with fear would only revolt if they had a box to stand on. Konoha was no different. She had killed anyone that challenged her rule, and she did not regret anything about that. Your silence is scaring me, said Teiwaya. Tsunade blinked as she looked towards the girl. Even Nico was looking at her. How long was she thinking? It should scare you, she said. I'm not exactly sure how he will react when I do tell him. In fact, this could be our last days alive. Teiwaya's mouth dropped open in disbelief. Well, that sucks. I yet say just to die 2 years later. Shit. That's just great, said Teiwaya. The amount of sarcasm in her tone made Tsunade laugh. Yeah, laugh it up, milk jugs. If you haven't noticed, I'm just 19. I haven't lived long enough yet. Tsunade threw a safe bottle towards her. Teiwaya caught it. Drink up. It's your time to live just in case he decides to kill us. At least go out. Drunk as hell, said Tsunade. Teiwaya sighed as she opened the bottle and drank from it. She practically inhaled half of the bottle before pulling it back as she wiped her mouth clean, and she gave a rather loud belch before offering the bottle back to Tsunade, who took it. After this, you're going back, said Tsunade. Teiwaya crossed her arms and pouted. Screw my entire life. It is so boring down there. There's literally nothing to do. At least get me a TV or something. God damn it, man. Tsunade chuckled at her behavior. There is no service down there. Teiwaya frowned as she placed her head on the decks. Then what am I supposed to do, she said. Tsunade rolled her eyes before wagging her fingers dismissively. You have 10 fingers. How about using 3 of them? As Teiwaya glared at her. You think I don't already do that? I do that at least every night. There isn't much else to do. At least let me buy some toys for goddamn sake. Tsunade sighed. Nico, take her to get some toys so that she can shut the hell up. Nico nodded as she got a mask and gave it to Teiwaya, as Teiwaya pumped her fist in excitement. The two of them disappeared shortly after as Tsunade was left alone to her thoughts. As she sighed. Time skip. Naruto sat on her perch as he overlooked the Sand Shinobis that were making their way towards his squad. Lee and Tenten were leading them, with about 50 Sand Shinobis following behind them. They were a distance away, but they will arrive soon. We need to push our plan forward now. That imposter is now aware of your trump card. Naruto clenched his hand. He had let his guard down, and it cost him his most valuable ability. The Harishin was supposed to be the ace in the hole for him, but that man has saw it. Toby would be far more cautious next time they see it. I will ask Auntie Tsunade for the Scroll of Sealing when I return. I will not take any risks. If my father defeated him, then I will have no trouble doing so, said Naruto. Hubris, this isn't like you. I am not being overconfident. I have mastered the Harishin. And it was for that reason that I agree with you. My parents will be avenged. That intangibility of his will be annoying, but nothing a barrier seal cannot stop. Toby will die the next time we meet. I'll make sure of it. There's a Naruto I know. I was worried that you were getting soft on me. You speak too much, Kurama, said Naruto, as he talked loudly. His squad overheard him. He ignored their stares as he hopped down from the perch. As he went towards Gaara, who was taking a nap. Kakashi-sensei, as Kakashi leaned up against the wall. I have a question about your Sharingan. Kakashi glanced up from his book. Shoot, he said. Do you possess the Mangekyo Sharingan, said Naruto. Kakashi blinked at the question in surprise. Yes, I do. Why do you ask, he said. Can you show me the design and what it does? Kakashi shrugged. Nigerian guy watched on as the Jonin lift his headband. His Sharingan started to twist into a different design altogether. What exactly does it do, said Naruto? Every Mangata Sharingan has a unique technique that is tailored to one person. Well, it takes a lot of my chakra to use, but I've been able to store things into a pocket dimension of sorts. Naruto pulled out a kunai. Show it to me, now he said. His voice was a bit urgent, as that surprised them. As Kakashi looked at Naruto for a moment, before he gave him a nod. Set it down on the ground just to be safe. As Naruto placed it down, as Kakashi focused on kunai, as Naruto watched as the kunai started to thin as a vortex came over it, and it was pulled inside. Who gave you that eye, said Naruto. Kakashi frowned as he hunched over and tried to catch his breath. My old teammate, Obito Uchiha. He was killed after a boulder fell on top of him. He gave me a Sharingan. Why do you ask, said Kakashi. The three men turned towards him. Because he's still alive. After I killed Adra, I was almost sucked into a vortex. The man appeared after I managed to escape the vortex. He wore a mask so I couldn't identify him, but it was the same exact ability. Kakashi was shocked at that. You're positive that it was the same thing? Exactly the same thing, said Naruto. Except his was far faster. It would make sense because it was his eye, and it was tailored to him. Kakashi looked at the ground as he was lost for words. Obito was alive? And he was in the Akatsuki? What the hell was going on? Guy placed a hand on his shoulder, trying to provide some measure of comfort for his best friend. As Guy knew how much this was going to affect Kakashi. They need to get back to Konoha as soon as possible. When this time Shinobis arrive, we immediately head back to inform Auntie Tsunade. Kakashi, the boy that you previously knew as Obito, is no longer the same man. He confirmed to me that he was the one that attacked Konoha and set loose the Kyuubi. For that, he dies. I will avenge my parents, Sensei, said Naruto. As he placed his hands in his pockets and walked off, as he returned back to his perch, not waiting for a response. Time skip. The journey back to Konoha was done in silence. Tenten and Lee had noticed how tense the atmosphere was, but they did not voice their concern. After handing Gara back over to his peers, they raced back to the village. Tenten and Lee was shocked to find out that Naruto killed both of the Akatsuki members with little effort. The squad of 6 ran full speed for several hours, until they finally made their way home. As they arrived at the massive gates, Tenten leaned up against the gate. She may have been a part of Team Guy, but she was not on par with her stamina. Who ran for several hours at full speed without stopping? Madness! You all can leave, said Naruto. I'll speak with Auntie Tsunade and deliver the report. As the Jonins all nodded, as Kakashi walked up to Naruto, he patted him on the shoulder before disappearing. Naruto narrowed his eyes after a sensei's action, before jumping onto the massive gates. His gaze settled on the monument. He vanished. He reappeared outside the Hokage's office. As he looked through the window, Tsunade was not there. He went quiet as he activated Sage Mode. As he zeroed in on her location, Tsunade was in the Senju compound. In the garden as she had a book, a bottle of sake, as she rested against the wall. As she listened to the sound of the stream that was in the garden, with a small smile on her face. Her eyes snapped open as she came face to face with Naruto, blue eyes. He was looking at her with an eyebrow raised, and a particular looking kunai in his hand. Wait a second, she recognized the kunai. Is that what I think it is? She said. As Naruto looked at the weapon before twirling it. Like father, like son, they say. Tsunade was silent for several seconds, as she chuckled and shook her head. Her eyes went down towards her necklace as she gently held the jewel in her hand. So that was why the seal seemed so familiar. The Harashin seal was inscribed on it. A snort escaped her as she smiled. A smile that was full of bitterness. There is no chance that she would survive. Her smile softened as she ran her fingers over the gemstone. It was such a beautiful necklace, hopefully. She will continue to wear it. As Naruto saw her face went through several emotions before settling on a smile. I take it the mission was a success, she said as she released her necklace. Sorcerer and Deidara are now dead. I also know who the masked man is. The one who attacked Konoha and lied to me, becoming a Jinchuriki. He twirled the Harashin kunai as Tsunade looked at him curiously. And who is it? A man named Obito Uchiha, said Naruto as he leaned against a tree. He was on my father's team, with Kakashi. Records say that he was killed in action. And he gave Kakashi a Sharingan. But he's alive. After I killed Deidara, he confronted me. Forced me to reveal the Harashin. I let my guard down for a second. But next time we meet, he dies. Tsunade hummed at his response, as she looked towards her sake. She put the bottle back. Are you well? Said Naruto as he looked at her. Never better, she said with a frown, as he saw it. What's on your mind? Said Naruto. His question made her want to laugh. There was a lot on her mind. Many things. She was never an individual to show fear in front of anything, but now she felt like a small child. She had gone over so many things that she would say when he returned, but now everything was fleeing away from her. For the first time since Dan's death, she was afraid. She was terrified of dying. Being a shinobi, death was certain. It was the only constant thing in her life. Everything changed, but death remained there. Tsunade had never been terrified of dying, but at this very moment. Do you remember the day that we first met, Naruto? Yes. You said I looked familiar. She closed her eyes at that as she smiled. Back then, you were like a chibi version of your father. Pudgy, little cheeks and all. You were so cute. Naruto raised her eyebrow and she gushed on. I knew that you were special back then. That you would accomplish so much. Your potential was incredible. That promise I made, you remember it, yes? Of course, said Naruto. And you know that Uzumaki's valued promises with her life, right? Naruto had tilted as he looked at her in confusion. Yes, he said. I meant every word I said. Every threat to you, I would erase. Anything that you need, it will be yours. A frown appeared in his face as he looked into her eyes. Why are you saying this? I just want you to know I will never take advantage of you. As Naruto wondered what was she talking about. As time passed, she seemed to have calmed down from whatever she was going through. Come on, she said, as she got to her feet. You're probably hungry. I'll make you something delicious. As she gave him a wink that made him raise an eyebrow. Before we do that, there's something I need, said Naruto. Like I said, anything you need, it's yours, she said. As Naruto got to his full height, placing his hands in his pockets. I need the scroll of sealing, he said. The request made her pause for a second. It was very dangerous because of what was inside. She didn't mind giving it to him as she was going to, but she was certain why he needed it. I don't mind giving it to you, but what exactly do you need it for? I need to require the other half of Kurama's soul from my father. In order to do so, I need to learn the hand signs of Edo Tensei, and also visit the Uzumaki shrine to retrieve the soul from the Shinigami. Tsunade reached down to her cleavage as she pulled out a tiny scroll and tossed it to him as he caught it. He looked down towards the scroll. I would ask why, but then you will tell it to me. As Tsunade smiled at that. Since you're so obviously curious, she said, the scroll of sealing is very important to Konoha. Why keep it in a lockup maximum security when I can just keep it on me? Not like there's many people that know about it. It's also sealed in that smaller scroll because scroll of sealing would not fit in my cleavage. My breasts are huge, but they aren't that huge. As she ended that with a small smile, her arms rested under her bust. Naruto averted his gaze as she started to shift her arms up and down. He sighed at her behavior as he appeared beside her and wrapped his arms around her waist. He pulled her towards him before glancing towards her. I assume the Uzumaki shrine is still intact, yes? Tsunade pouted, before wrapping her arms around him. As she nodded, after we do what you need, I have a surprise for you, she said. As Naruto raised an eyebrow before nodded. I also need 2 human sacrifices to bring my father back, said Naruto. Tsunade nodded as she pulsed her chakra. After a minute or so, Nico appeared as she kneeled. Get me 2 prisoners from the IT department and drop their bodies off. At the Uzumaki shrine and wait outside the building. Make sure that it's secure and that no one interrupts us. Nico nodded as she vanished to do her task. As Naruto gripped Tsunade's waist as they both vanished in a yellow flash. Time skip. They arrive on top of the monument as Naruto unsealed the scroll of sealing. As he read above the Edo Tensei. Well, that's annoying. As he wrapped it back up, Tsunade captured his hand as they started to walk towards the shrine. So, what's wrong? The Shinigami mask sacrificed the wielder of the mask as well, which is something I did not know, as he trailed off. We will need a Nara, he said. I will handle it when we reach the shrine, she said, as the couple slowly made their way to the shrine as she hummed, quietly to herself. Did you open that scroll I gave you before leaving to retrieve Gara? I did not. Why, said Naruto. All he received was a small gentle smile, as she ignored the question. It took them 10 minutes of walking before reaching the building. As Naruto glanced towards her, I thought you said it was intact. It is, she said. I never said how intact it was. As he shook his head, as Nico appeared in front of them. Get us a Nara, said Naruto, as he detached himself from Tsunade and made his way inside the building. Nico glanced towards the boy before turning towards Tsunade, who nodded as Nico vanished. As she slowly made her way inside, she noticed the two tied up prisoners who were on the floor unconscious. As Naruto was examining the sealing formula for the Dotensei, he studied for several minutes before he nodded. He unsealed all the material that he will need as he started to draw the seals. Another minute passed by, or so, before the smell of cigarette assaulted Naruto's nose. He blinked slowly as he heard a familiar voice. I just know, being woken up at 12 AM and having to follow an envoy member at the Hokage request was your doing, Naruto. Troublesome, said Shikamaru as he entered. As Naruto turned towards Tsunade, you had her pick Shikamaru. Of course, it's Tsunade, you trust him, and that's enough for me. Shikamaru is not expendable, Auntie Tsunade, said Naruto. She crossed her arm with a huff. What else would you have me do, Naruto? You act like you don't have a way of keeping him silent without the threat of killing him. Of course I do, said Naruto, but I rather do not want to do so. I enjoy Shikamaru's presence, and killing him would be troublesome. You guys know I'm still here, right? The guy that you're talking about, yeah, I'm him. Shikamaru said in a deadpan tone. They turned towards him. Before they turned back, dismissing him. He sighed in annoyance as he sat on the ground, waiting for them to explain why he was here. He could ask, but that would be too troublesome. It took 30 minutes. I'm reviving my father, Shikamaru. The reason is irrelevant, so don't ask. In order to successfully pull this off, I need you to cast your shadow possession jutsu on one of the prisoners over there. Both of those men will die, but only one will be wearing the Shinigami mask. You will feel some measure of pain, but you will be fine. You've been put through a lot before, so I'm successful that you will pull this off. If not, then you die. Shikamaru sighed in annoyance. I'm really doing this, huh? As he pulled out another cigarette. The shit I do. Troublesome. Tsunade looked at a scroll. It said that you need the DNA of the person that you wish to revive. Do we need to get Minato's body? Naruto shook his head as he pulled out a 3-pronged kunai. This is one of father's original kunais. His blood is mixed in the sealing formula of the Harashin. This would be the catalyst. Tsunade eyed the kunai before tilting her head. And if it doesn't work, then we retrieve father's body and start over. I do hope it worked the first time though. Both Shikamaru and Tsunade sighed. Unbelievable. He didn't even know if it was gonna work. 10 minutes passed by as Naruto slowly got to his feet as he triple-checked the design. He placed one of the prisoner's body in the center as he pulled out his father's kunai and placed it down. As he went over to the wall and pulled off the Shinigami mask, his eyes roamed over each individual mask, sensing what was inside of each and every one of them. He would need to seal this entire room away afterwards. As Naruto grabbed the Shinigami mask, he made his way to the other prisoner in the room. Shikamaru. Shikamaru took in a deep breath before he exhaled. As he went through Hansai's shadow, shot forward and grabbed the prone man. Naruto nodded as he removed the man's bindings and wake him up. The man's eyes shot open as he could not control his body. And his Tsunade stay near Shikamaru. He's going to receive the same injuries as this man. He will need medical attention afterwards, as Naruto tossed a scroll of sealing towards Shikamaru, who got it. Shikamaru's eyes gazed over the necessary seals before he memorized them as he handed it to the Hokage. Tsunade's hand started to glow green as she gave a nod. I'm ready, Naruto, said Shikamaru, calmly. This is the worst idea ever done. Brace yourself, said Naruto. You will be in the presence of death yourself. As Naruto placed a mask in the prisoner's face, the effect was instantaneous. The entire room grew cold as the man started to shake. Shikamaru also started to shake as well. It felt like fire was running through his veins. It lasted for several minutes before it ceased altogether, as Shikamaru released a breath as his gaze fell on the Shinigami with nothing but shock. His body froze with fear. His heart started to hammer in his chest. That's... Stay focused, Shikamaru. You'll be fine. As he heard Naruto's voice, his heart started to settle. As he gave a shaky nod, going through hand signs. Edo Tensei. Several things happened at once. A large cut appeared in the prisoner's stomach that started to leak blood. The same thing happened to Shikamaru as well. Blue whips of tentacles started to leak from a Shinigami and grabbed the prisoner that was in the center of the sealing matrix. The man woke up as he started to scream as ash started to crawl over his body. Naruto appeared beside Shikamaru and placed a seal in his arm that broke his contract with the masked prisoner. The prisoner was sucked inside Shinigami's stomach, who disappeared afterwards. As Shikamaru fell over, Tsunade started to heal his wound. As Naruto surveyed his injuries, before nodding as he turned towards the center of the room. Dull blue eyes stare into a similar pair of blue eyes. There, in all of his glory, was none other than Minato, Namikaze himself. Numerous cracks running through his face and body. He was donned in his infamous cloak with flames at the bottom. He had a Harashin kunai in his hand. As he analyzed the group in front of him, Minato's eyes gazed at the individual in front of him, who could practically be his brother. This was most certainly his son. Similar ears, eyes, same build. He had a nice sense of fashion as well. He noticed similar kunai in his son's hand. Minato tried to sense the beacon on the kunai, as he noticed there was not one. So that means, you've mastered it, haven't you, Naruto? He said. I've mastered a lot, father. Jutsus, seals, styles. There's only one thing I haven't mastered yet. The Kyuubi's chakra, said Minato. Naruto nodded, as he cocked his fist and slammed it inside Minato's stomach. The blow was so powerful it blew a hole clean through Minato's stomach, as he leaned over on Naruto's fists. I deserve that one. Minato watched on in sadness as tears started to fall from his son's eyes. I was left alone. I had no one. You and mother. Naruto went silent as Minato wrapped his arms around him, as Naruto did not move for a while until his hands came up and hugged back his father. A heavy frown appeared on Minato's face as he saw Tsunade and Shikamaru watching the scene with frowns on their faces. His eyes closed as he calmed his son. This was not the reaction he was expecting. He knew that Naruto would be upset, but Jiraiya raised him, didn't he? Why would he say that he had no one? As they broke apart, Minato gazed looked towards Tsunade. You've returned to Konoha, he said. Tsunade waved her hand as Nico appeared and took Shikamaru in a flash. They were gone in a sunshine. Tsunade started to walk towards Minato. Yes, I did. You're the Hokage as well. She nodded a statement as Minato frowned. Where's Hiruzen? Dead, said Naruto. Minato nodded. And Jiraiya, he raised you, yes? As there was a silence in the room, Minato started to frown. He raised you, did he not? No, Minato, said Tsunade. He did not. A tremendous amount of chakra started to seep in the room. I gave him instructions on what to do should I or Kushina pass. For hours upon hours I made plans, fail-safe, alternatives, and he did nothing? Tsunade started to cringe at the power leaking from the man. Minato might not have been the most physically powerful, but when he was angry, it was like a whole other beast. He was oozing authority, and he had the skills to back it up. Minato had never reached his prime, and it was a scary thought to think about. As Naruto scoffed, there's no use in being angry about it. It changed nothing. He failed to do his task, and when he dies, Mother will deal with him. Minato started to calm himself as he sighed. Kushi-chan will kill him again. That gave me some measures of comfort at least. He shook his head as he placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. I'm truly sorry I wasn't here to raise you. I'm sure my chakra imprint said something similar, but I'm proud to be your father. It makes me happy to know that you're going to surpass me. As he gave a grin before pulling Naruto into another hug. As he patted his back for several times. As he glanced towards Tsunade, his eyes looked at her for several moments, before he looked back at Naruto. Naruto, how old are you? He said. As he continued to look at Tsunade, as Naruto raised his eyebrow, I'm going to be 17 soon. Tsunade's gaze was stoic as Minato was looking directly at her. She was becoming unnerved. Did he know about her infatuation? After several seconds, the man nodded as he turned toward his son. Well, happy early birthday, son, your gift. The other half of the Kyuubi. As he patted Naruto in the head, who slapped his hand away, as he laughed at the reaction. Take care of my son, Tsunade. As he gave her a knowing look. As he placed his hand on Naruto's stomach, as there was an orange chocolate that flooded into Naruto's body. The process went on for several seconds. Before Minato was done, as Naruto unbuttoned his shirt. As Naruto channeled his chakra, the seal appeared on his stomach. His fingertips started to glow as he stabbed his hand in his stomach. The seal rippled as he started to rotate his hand. It was like notches that were being turned and unlocked as he opened the seal. The moment the last lock was opened, chakra exploded from his core. Tsunade was caught off guard, not expecting this. It seems that Naruto did not either, as Minato flashed her away outside the building. A second later, the building was eviscerated from the force of Naruto's chakra. After the dust settled down, Naruto started to walk out, without a shirt. A scene that Tsunade was looking at, without any shame, as Naruto clenched and opened his fist before sighing in annoyance. My chakra control is shot. Thank you, father, he said. As Naruto looked towards Minato, tell mother that as he paused. As Minato waited, tell her I've been eating healthy, and her worries are unfounded. As for my love life, he trailed off with red on his cheeks. Never mind, he said, as Minato chuckled, seeing his son embarrassed. I'll tell Kushi-chan, he said, as a seal started forming his stomach. Goodbye, Naruto, he said. His chest started to disappear, as his body disappeared in ash with a smile on his face. As Naruto turned to Tsunade, I need to gather all the masks and seal them away, he said. Tsunade sat down and she watched the boy collect the treasures of the Uzumaki clan. She could feel his reserves as just double. How much stronger was he now? You still have the scrolls of seals, yes? As she nodded, he held out his hand. She threw the small scroll towards him, as Naruto burned it immediately. She raised her eyebrow at this action. The Edo Tensei dies with me and Shikamaru. Should he be compromised in the field, the seal I placed on him will prevent him from speaking any knowledge about the jutsu. I need a shirt. I'm enjoying the view, she said. Don't ruin it. Stop ogling my body, said Naruto, as she posed in a rather sexy pose. I'll do as I please. What? You gonna punish me if I don't, she said, as Naruto started to avert his eyes. Oh, Naruto-kun, it's okay to stare, she said. It is rude to do so, he said. Well, it's not if I let you do it, she said, as he refused to look at her, as she considered it a win. Come on, she said. I'm taking you to your gift. Time skip. Why are we here, said Naruto, as they were in front of Envoy HQ. Your gift, it's inside. I believe you're gonna enjoy it immensely, as Naruto raised the eyebrow into her action, but he followed her inside. But guys, be in so right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications I posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way over in Anime King. And over in Anime King 3, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Perfect Experiment. So go ahead and check out that, guys, and enjoy. And also stay tuned for the brand new episode coming over in Anime King. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button. And thank you for all your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys very, very soon. Peace.